I'm Daniel Oram. I'm the Director of Boarding from Auckland Grammar School. We started trialling Boardingware late in 2015 and we adopted it fully at the start of 2016. We stored all our information, which was all paper-based, in folders and files. They weren't centralised, they were in a master's house or a file somewhere in the duty office, so there was no central point where all staff could find the information they were after. We also relied on parents filling in the correct forms at the start of each year. For example, the visitors list, that in theory had to be full and complete, but we found as the years went on that it never was, so we were always chasing parents for certain destinations. Now that we've got Boardingware, the process in many ways is the same. There was no real change in the vocabulary that we use from boy to master, but the process is a lot quicker. So what happens now is that boys can come to us, and with a few taps on the tablet screen, we can sign the boy out to his destination very quickly. We can also preload multiple destinations in the future or the near future, which allows the boys to plan a good couple of days in advance if they are organised enough. When we began the process of looking at taking on Boardingware, we did have a good deal of experience and quite a refined system in how we worked, and it did work. It was proven to work. So there was some reluctance to leave that behind and go in a totally different direction. But we've found that very quickly any sort of pushback was dropped when people realised that this was a better way to operate. Probably the biggest issue we did have was either aligning our existing processes with what Boardingware provided, or in some cases doing away with our outdated methods and moving forward on the Boardingware platform. Some staff were slow, but certainly not reluctant. We've now got an environment where everyone is up to speed, and it has been very, very, very easy. I was surprised at how quickly it was taken up. I think if schools were looking at adopting Boardingware, I would encourage them to let go of how they've done things. It's certainly the scariest thing for us, was leaping into an unknown. Now that we're 2.5 years into the process, I would not look back. So it's a ringing endorsement from Tibbs House. We've also found particularly any fears around the system failing or not working or fitting in with us were unfounded. There were a few things we had to let go of, but in hindsight they probably were over egging the pudding, and we didn't really need them in the way that we did things.